All right, we're going to try it this way. This is a recording of me driving, and for whatever reason, my thoughts come out more fluidly while I'm driving and talking, so I apologize for the background noise, but let's get into it. I was asked recently to talk about a Guild Ball post-mortem, and so I'm trying to gather my thoughts. I tried to actually write a script, and I went back and started reading it, and I'm like, man, this is pretentious crap. Let's just sum it up, get to our points, and let's talk about, some ideas that are central to my thinking as we go about this. We'll call it an attempted revival of Guild Ball. So yes, Guild Ball is at least nominally returning. If you haven't noticed, we have a huge fever going here in Southern California with our players really re-energized, ready to get back on the pitch. We've been playing lots of games with all the member berries, all that sweet nostalgia has us intoxicated currently, and we've got our rose-colored glasses on as we look at the possibility of a full return for Guild Ball. And while I would rather not spoil the moment and let's just enjoy the game that we all love and play, I can't help but look at the simple fact that the same problems that we faced when Guild Ball ended are still the same problems we face now. That said, I still feel like we maybe are in a better position now with some afterthought and some hindsight to look at really attacking what were the real issues behind Guild Ball ending, or at the very least, the end of the support for Guild Ball from Steamforged Games. And in very oversimplified business terms, it boils down to the lack of a steady income stream to Guild Ball versus the amount of support required for such a game. And I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of inventory and retail and all of that mess, because I really know nothing about it, and I would never pretend to know anything about it. However, I do know from the most rudimentary sense here that in order to get Guild Ball back into a supportable game is really to bring in sales, to bring in money for the manufacturer. And what that means for us as the players and community leaders and volunteers for this game is it means they need more than us. And that's a pretty sobering thought to look at. Yes, we're all really passionate about Guild Ball. We are all, and I was saying this last night, we are all fanatics of the game. If you play Guild Ball right now, you love Guild Ball, you're not a casual, despite what your win-loss record might be leading you to believe. You're not a casual. You are a die-hard fanatic. You are in for the game, regardless of skill level, Longshanks rating, or record, right? And so we can do on an individual level what we can to help bring the game back, really in terms of just our response to having the availability of product. But ultimately, it's going to come down to new growth. If we really want Guild Ball to be back in its, we'll say, in its surviving form, we need to bring new players into the fold. There needs to be a new stream of customer coming in, enjoying the game, and not just for the business itself, but for our communities. Our communities of players, as much as we love each other and as much as we want to continue playing the game, we need new opponents. We need fresh eyes on the game. We need untapped brains to look at this game and to help grow it and to help enjoy it. So the bottom line is, we got to have new blood. That's all I'm really saying here. And the challenges to new blood are no different than what they were before. And that is, and please do not take this with criticism, but a competitive player base that is dedicated, that is committed, that is going to get in a lot of reps, a lot of games, has a lot of information to share. And that can be incredibly difficult for a new player to come into. And I'm facing this challenge directly and specifically in my Southern California community. And so a lot of what I'm saying here is kind of an open challenge to my own members of our community is, hey, you know what? You love the game, Guild Ball, and we want to play it. We need new people, and we need you. We need you specifically and individually to help us with that goal. There are already been a number of players from my immediate meta that have stepped up, and they're stepping up and contributing in whatever way they can. We've got Andrew, who is really, he's got the fire big time. He's got the fever, I should say, as we like to call it here in Southern California. He's making content. He's recording podcasts. He's putting out instructional videos. He's developing prize support. He's doing his part. Kevin, same thing. He's mentoring players. He's getting people to sit down, showing them the game, walking them through, what are some of the skills that you need as a player to really dive in and enjoy Guild Ball. And so I think collectively we're embracing this challenge of, okay, we're not just players anymore, guys. We have to give up on that thought that there's a pundit and then we just attend their events. First off, I'm no longer officially a pundit, although I'm still honored with that title that my friends in our community gift me with. But I'm not just the pundit. I'm not the only ambassador of the game. We're all ambassadors of the game. For those of us here in the Southern California area, every single one of you guys is a reflection of the community that we want to be and the goals that we want to attain as a community. And those goals are really to grow the coolest, friendliest, and skilled player base that we can here in this area. That needs to be our goal in Southern California. That needs to be your goal no matter where you are with Guild Ball. If you are an existing Guild Ball player, as of right now, you should consider yourself an ambassador for the game. And I don't know, maybe you take offense to me just slapping that label on you, but hey, are you in it? Do you want this back? Because I do, and that's what's required, folks. Let's take a long, sober look at what is it that we missed last time that made it difficult for new players to come in, accept the game, and eventually get to the point where they're thriving, where they want to be a full-time member of our community. What are the barriers? And let's be honest. Let's be sober. Yeah, there are some incredibly skilled players. There are incredibly gifted and skilled players in every meta. But it's not like you can't be gifted and skilled and not find ways to bring people into the game without stomping them to death, but rather educating them on the finer points of the game. It's not like the ways don't exist to get people excited to be part of a community, even beyond the game, just to be part of this group of people that are just so terribly excited for this game and want them to experience what we experience. That's the challenge. That's the challenge for us on the individual and the small community scale. And if we embrace that at the individual and small community level, well, guess what? You do that across the nation, across Europe, and all of the many countries where this game is played and enjoyed, then we got a real fighting chance here at doing something incredible for the game. It's not just about, teaching the nuts and bolts of the game. It's not just about, but it is in a big part, about getting product available to eager customers. It's also about us, and I hate to use this term, but us branding the game and ourselves as players of the game to the greater community and showing them, hey, this game is incredible and it is worth fighting for, and you want to be down with these homies in your area that are playing it. So that was a lot of rambling, and it was probably a lot of proselytizing, and yeah, I did get preachy and I got on my soapbox, and you can let me have it in the comments. But in seriousness, that's what this is about, guys. This is our opportunity, okay? This isn't a chance to just go in and go, hey, look, this guy wants to play. Let's get a cheap win. And I know 90 to 95% of the people listening to that are not that type of player. In fact, the best Guild Ball players will never be that type of player. So let's be real there. But I got to say it because it's got to be said. But yeah. Are you excited about Guild Ball being back? Yes. Do you feel that its return is precarious at best? Yes. Do you feel like we actually have a chance to contribute something meaningful to its revival? Absolutely yes. And that's what this video is about. And that's why I'm driving around and I can't sit down at home and try to be quiet about it. I've got to be here in my car where I can turn off the inhibitors and just let it loose. So anyways, my friends, I appreciate you as always. Come out and play the Precursor Cup March 3rd. Come out and play the Kingdom Cup May 18th out here in Southern California. Weather is beautiful, folks. Come on out. We're gonna make it work for you. And bring a friend. Bring somebody who doesn't have your Guild Ball infection. Okay? The goal is, let's bring them in. Let's give this a chance. And let's enjoy our games. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon.